Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Ollie Hayes, and today I'm going to be reacting to our 2-0 defeat at Old Trafford on Saturday against Manchester United. And why not start before the game, going with the lineup? I think we can have no complaints at the lineup. I think it was unchanged from the West Ham game the week before. And yeah, as I think it was actually the same as what I predicted in the starting 11 show on Thursday afternoon. And we could have had no complaints for the starting lineup. I think it was probably our best team on paper that we could have put out on Saturday morning. And yeah, I think we always knew Ben Godfrey at right back was going to be a little bit of a challenge. I think up against the likes of Garnacho on that wing and even Marcus Rashford, who had a pretty decent game in the Manchester United shirt. I think he was always going to struggle. And yeah, seeing Ben Godfrey playing at right back, I think it was always up for debate going into the game, but I can't have any complaints from the starting 11. I think, I wanted to see Beto start after his performance against West Ham, and that's exactly what we got. And I thought Beto had a decent game. And yeah, my thoughts going into the game were I was still quietly confident. I think, going to Old Trafford, it's a difficult place to go. But yeah, I still had that, blind optimism going into the game where I thought, we might be able to get something here and we might genuinely be able to come away with a point or at least three. But yeah, for me, I think the first half we started well, didn't we? Yeah, we came flying out, which is something that we haven't done for so long in a game, especially at a big six team where we tend to go into our shells and don't really come out and attack the opponent. I think we did that really well. And yeah, I think we had a corner in the first couple of minutes, and that's really unheard of for us because we don't tend to attack at these big six teams. And going into a game where I thought it was going to be very difficult to come away with a point or even three, I think seeing that in the first half was really, really positive. And it all went downhill very, very quickly, didn't it? A penalty for Manchester United, won by Alejandro Garnacho, a lazy lunge by James Tarkowski. I did expect a little bit better of him, considering he is probably one of our senior players and a player that we really did expect to go into the game that would lead us forward. But yeah, just a lazy lunge in, a really, really soft penalty to give away, but a penalty nevertheless. And, Bruno Fernandes was always going to score that given the opportunity, especially in the form that he's been in recently with, struggling for goals and assists here and there. So, yeah, it was a little bit annoying to see, especially one of our senior players diving in like that. But I still thought the reaction to the first goal was relatively decent. We still came and tried to play out from the back and tried to attack Manchester United, which is something as Everton fans we really want to see from our team. So yeah, the first half it was going well, and then late on in that first half, giving away another penalty. This time Alejandro Garnacho again, but Ben Godfrey diving in the box. I think that was really disappointing for me, especially coming from our set piece at the other end. For me, I was very disappointed, and especially in our attacking set pieces this week because we've prided ourselves so many times this season on being able to score from set pieces and also being able to defend from them. And a long looping ball forward from Pickford, which eventually fell short to a Manchester United defender, and one ball up the pitch and they're in with Garnacho. And I was very disappointed because it seems like our only option of scoring goals is from set pieces, and when we're not able to defend them up the other end on the counter attack, I think that's a really, really disappointing thing to see. And for me, it was easily avoidable that second goal, and then for me that comes on the tactics. But yeah, going in to the second half, and going into half time 2-0 down, I was disappointed because I don't think we deserved to be going in 2-0 down, maybe 1-0 down or even level, because I thought we played relatively decent in that first half. We were pressing Manchester United. We had a relative amount of shots, and attacking wise, we were pretty decent. We were just let down by two silly mistakes, really. And going into that second half, and especially at half time, I was thinking we're still in this game. We can still definitely get something. I know it was disappointing going in 2-0 down, but I still felt like we were showing signs that we could get something from the game. And into that second half, we really didn't get going, did we? I think it was a really, really disappointing second half. And I was disappointed because there was no fight shown. It was relatively easy for Manchester United to just see out the game. And there was so many penalty shouts, wasn't there? That even in the first half, Mikalenko late on in that first half was maybe a little bit fortunate to get away with not conceding the penalty, and that carried on into the second half. I think they ended up with about five penalty shouts between the first one being given and the end of the game. But yeah, moving on to that second half, I really, really wasn't impressed with the way we played, and I was relatively disappointed with the tactics as well because Dyche he's done well in considering the circumstances this season. He's had a a lot of pressure put on him by the Everton fans, and also a lot of pressure put on him by the 10-point deduction. Obviously, it's good to see we got those 4 points back the other week, and it was like, can we kick on now? We looked at the West Ham game as the game to really kick on and go there with an open mind and an open attacking sense, and we didn't really do that. And again on Saturday, we didn't do that against Manchester United, especially in that second half, because it would have been nice to see maybe a change of tactics, a change of system. But all Dyche's substitutions in that second half were, like for like substitutions. Dobbin came on the wing. Andre Gomez came on for Abdoulaye Doucouré. Dominic Calvert-Lewin came on for Beto. And it's all substitutions that are way too predictable and probably came too late in the game. At half time, would he have been better making a substitution then just to try and bring on fresh legs? Didn't think Jack Harrison had a great performance. Probably one of his worst in an Everton shirt, if the truth be told. And, would it really hurt to bring on Lewis Dobbin early in that second half or even at half time just to try and freshen things up and get a bit of energy? And, that's really where I felt like Dyche can be criticised on Saturday, is his substitutions and his negative interpretation of changing tactics. And it is something that we have seen so many times now from Dyche, where he's not changing his tactics, and it is costing us a little bit. And yeah, that's my one criticism for Dyche on Saturday, and just hoping this break now going forward he can find some new tactics and change it up a little bit just to try and get us over the line. But the second half wasn't good, was it? We didn't really come out of our shell. We didn't really press Manchester United, and it was relatively straightforward for them to see out the victory. And moving on to full time thoughts, I was thinking, I'm really disappointed with the way we played here, because the second half, I know we were 2-0 down for that second half, but at full time, I was thinking we had a real opportunity to get at Manchester United there. I really thought that they were pretty poor on Saturday, and they were a team that we really could have got at and really could have shown that we're willing to stay in this division and fight for every ball and fight for every tackle, but we didn't seem to do that. So at full time, I was pretty disappointed with the players, and I was pretty disappointed with the manager. And it was a relatively disappointing day as a whole, and it kind of shows that this break has come at a very good time, because if I was sat here talking to you now on the 12th of March today, and it was 4 days to a Merseyside derby at Goodison Park, I think a lot of us would be stressing about the potential of that and the result that could warrant a massive defeat for Everton possibly. But it's good that we've got a 3-week break now before the Bournemouth game on the 30th of March. And you know just my final thoughts on that game is just something to put behind us, because it was a difficult one to take. It was a relatively poor performance, and I don't think there was a player that really played well on the Everton side. Maybe Beto in the first half. I didn't think he had a terrible game. But players that didn't play well, I could reel off a whole list of them. I thought Jack Harrison was horrendous. I don't think he offered us anything really going forward. And James Tarkowski showed a little bit of naivety with the first goal. I don't think he played great, but other than that, he managed to pick himself up and have a relatively decent second half in terms of defensive output. But the one for me that stands out as playing the best for us is Jordan Pickford, 100%. I think, his distribution was decent on Saturday, and also that save at 1-0 from I think it was the Bruno Fernandes free kick, the way he managed to reach that and save it. I think that was, one, if that free kick had gone in, the game definitely would have been beyond us. Obviously in hindsight, it doesn't matter, but hindsight's a wonderful thing. But yeah, Jordan Pickford for me stood out as the top performer there, and he's going to be so crucial in the next few weeks for us. I said it in the starting 11 show before the game on Thursday that Jordan Pickford's so crucial for us in terms of shot stopping, but also his distribution, and he showed that on Saturday. But yeah, I think moving on from that, yeah, not a great performance, not a great performance from the squad, not a great performance from the manager. Jordan Pickford is my standout, and let's hope we can just go into this break now, you know, well rested. I know they're in Portugal this week, and let's just hope they can go into this break, come back with the shooting boots, and look to kick on to that Bournemouth game at the end of March. But that is all for today for my review of Manchester United Everton on Saturday. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you're thinking ahead of this break and ahead of the Bournemouth game. But that is all. Thanks for listening.